Well, we're hearing that the coalition is wargaming the possibility of an early election as the Prime Minister it prepares to fight on energy as a major issue. Dutton's gaining. Recent news poll, two-party preferred, it was 50-50. The Libs' primary vote had gone up. And the Australian reveals that Anthony Albanese is going to use even higher carbon emission targets to fight the coalition. Do you see that as a winning strategy, Nick? Because much of the media is already attacking Peter Dutton for restarting the climate wars, as they call it. We've got elements of the business sector also campaigning for what they call certainty. Can Dutton's strategy work if he has the media and big business against him?
Look, what they're trying to do, what business and Labor, and I think of those as one block these days, what they are trying to do is return to the debate of, oh, you're a climate denier. Now, that debate ended the moment that the coalition signed up to Zero 2050 for better or worse, right? Now it's all about how you get there and how expensive it is. And people know. This is a distraction from Labor. Let's make this about the climate wars again so that nobody sort of asks awkward questions like, what happened to that $275 that you promised you were going to take off my electricity bill? Your Labor is just desperate on this. And it won't work, Rita, because most people in Australia, as we know, if you do a survey on this, actual climate change and zero emissions is way down their list of concerns right now, way down. And I think it's a recipe for losing, because I think we're going to see the same trend that we have here in Europe, that people are just going to switch away from green parties and say, well, you know, you're off with the fairies, we're not going there with you. We're just not going there.
Now, you're in London. The election there is just a matter of weeks away. What's your feeling? We're looking at a Labor landslide. All the polls are indicating that. Farage has entered the race quite late. If you were a betting man, what would your prediction be?
Well, I wouldn't be putting any money on Rishi Sunak right now. I think the way the betting is running here is how many seats are the Tories going to end up with. And there are people seriously saying it'll be fewer than 100 seats. It'll be their worst result, I think, since the beginning of the last century. It's going to be a landslide for Labor. The question is, how big is that landslide and how much of the Tory party is left? Nigel Farage's party, of course, is making big inroads into the Tory vote, and in a first-past-the-post system, that's really damaging. But Farage himself will not win many seats, 3, 4, I would predict at most, because of the way the boundaries fall and the way the election plays out. But he'll help, push the Tories into oblivion. Look, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, a government that's been in as long as they have, no government has had 5 terms in Britain, I think, for almost 200 years. So they're not going, they couldn't expect 5 terms in the best of times, and so they're gone. But it would be nice to see them having at least, be the official opposition and not give that away to the Lib Dems, which is a real possibility if they do as badly as the worst people, the worst predictions are.
Well, let it be a warning to
the opposition party.
That's true, but let it be a warning to Conservative parties everywhere, including here, including our state Liberal parties, that this is what happens when you completely lose sight of your principles and govern like Labor light. You just have no supporter base to speak of. Nick Cater, thank you so much for your time this evening.